Shalom, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor, which is due unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Lakar Kadash. Double honors to the bishops, the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone rule well. Double honors to them, and shalom to the Lord's elect, starting with 144,000. And I was just checking out different articles, and so this one says warning lights for a coming war are flashing red, and Britain is not prepared. And at one time Britain was, you had the British Empire. And, they were great military power. They had great naval power, okay? And they lost that power that they had in the world, the new power was what? America, okay? And, the military prowess or the army that it has today is a shadow of what it used to be. But they're also going to be in this conflict, okay? They're also going to be affected by the things that happen in the Middle East, as well as all the different countries that are going to be involved in World War III, And it's something that they can't escape, it's prophecy. And, experts are saying that they ain't prepared, man, okay? They ain't prepared now. And that's meant to be one of the stronger nations. You got economically strong nations, economically weak nations. You got one that's meant to be one of the stronger nations, okay? But World War III, man, that's prophecy. It's all throughout the scriptures. Now, the scriptures don't tell you about a World War IV, okay? It mentions 3 woes. Woe meaning destruction. So 3 great woes, meaning what? World War I, World War II, World War III. In fact, let me quickly read that. I was in Joel 3, but I had Joel 3 lined up. But let's quickly just go to Revelation. No, it's in 8 or 9. Let's see. So 9 has one. I think 8 also. Revelation chapter 8, verse 13. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. Okay, talking about World War III. Now, when you go to Revelation, the 9th chapter, and the 12th verse, it says, one woe is past, because Revelation, the 9th chapter, it talks about World War I. Okay, it goes into that, right? Revelation chapter 9, verse 12 says, one woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes here, more hereafter. Now, World War II, we've had that, okay? And now we're pretty much coming into World War III. We're in the midst of World War III. And the culmination of World War III is that you're going to have nukes flying. And the main place where the nukes are going to be hitting, that's going to be completely destroyed, is America. That's prophecy. America being Babylon the Great, spoken of in Revelation 18 and Isaiah 13 and Jeremiah 15:51 and many other chapters in scriptures. Okay, so the destruction of Babylon is a major prophecy that's discussed all throughout the scriptures. Now, just lost my thought. But look, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Joel, all right, and Lord willing it comes back to me. This is Joel chapter 3, right, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And you got Ezekiel the 21st chapter, and the 9th verse tells you that they're sharpening the sword. Okay, they're preparing militarily, and even the NATO alliance, they're trying to put more money into their budget, into their military, because that's the time we're in. You got conflicts all around the world. Okay, and that are having geopolitical effects. They're having having effects on things like oil prices, having effects on fertilizer, having effects on food, It's having a lot of effects, okay? And the different nations are starting to feel it. And, a lot of these wars that were fought, which all wars are bankers' war. These wars are carefully puppeteered, if you will, by the elite banking dynasties, okay? The elite banking families, international banking elite. All right, I was watching Capitalist Conspiracy the other day. It was mentioning the Rothschilds, Morgans and different families, okay? And, pressure from above, pressure from below, Okay, hey, the scriptures tell us, okay, that the elites of Edom, how they were going to move, right? This is in Revelation 6:4. It says, and there went out another horse representing what power, that was red. Now, Adawam, okay, which is Edom in the Hebrew, means red. Okay, they're the red people, if you will. Okay, Edom, the Edomites. Okay, the so-called white man for you to understand today. Okay, and specifically, he's talking about right now. It's right there. It's talking about their power, which is what their elites. Okay, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that is what they've done. They have taken peace from the earth. We're not in a time of peace. We're in a time of war, right? And it says that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, which the sword was the blessing of the Edomites. Okay, their forefather Esau, the progenitor of the Edomites, his blessing was the sword. That's how he was going to conquer. That's how he was going to rule. All right, and that's what he does. He's the Lord's sword. He's used as a punishing stick for the Lord's chosen, which are us, the Israelites. Okay, and part of that great blessing, that great sword, is what? The nuclear technology. He's got that nukes, that nuclear technology, and that nuclear technology is going to be fundamental in taking his kingdom out. Okay, with America being completely nuked. Now, from there, I'm going to go back to Joel, but I want to also go to Isaiah 2. So let's just go to Joel 3 and read that. Right? It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong, because these different nations have what now? They've got nuclear capability as well. Nations at one time that were weaker nations, considered weaker nations, they have nuclear technology now. Okay? It says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. The valley of the Lord's judgment. Okay? And when you look at the Middle East, okay, all the different armies, there's a lot going on there that is what? Affecting, okay, the beginning of this war, okay? Because the scriptures tell us that the least of the flock shall draw them out, meaning what? Israel are going to bring America into a full-scale nuclear war, World War III, okay? And we're having the lead up to that moment. Now, one of the major prophecies that we're waiting for, which we always talk about, is the mark of the beast. Almost every video we mention it, because that's the prophecy that we're watching for, which is the microchip implant. That has to be made that basically has to be where Esau causes everyone to get chipped. So it's going to be mass chipping around the world. Okay, and a lot of people in the world are going to take that chip, which the scriptures tell you not to take that chip. Otherwise, you're going to be judged. Okay, we know that, that when our trust is in Yahweh Shemel Shai, it's not in Esau's technology. Okay, so we ain't going to take that chip. Now, that prophecy has to come to pass before them nukes fly. Because when them nukes fly, see, that test has to happen before our Lord returns with the angels. And he's going to return when them nukes fly. Why? Because you have the elect over there in America that needs to be beamed up and saved. Okay? The righteous are scarcely be saved. Okay? Now, we're in a time of war. How are you going to know that we're in the kingdom of heaven? Okay, how are you going to know when the true Israelites are ruling in their land? Right? We're going to go into it. Isaiah 2:2. And it shall come to pass in the last days, we're in the last days right now, that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. That's the Lord's government, right? It says the mountain represents the Lord's government, right? Which is the elect. All right, you got 144,000 prophets. That's the governing body. The Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Yeah, all the nations are going to be under us. And many people shall go and say, come and ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law. Everyone's going to have to follow that law. We're going to establish that upon the earth. Okay? And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares. That's the opposite of what we just read in Joel. Okay, where the nations were basically, rather than being in a building up farming state, they were going into a warlike state. okay, building up their weapons. A time of war. And their spears into pruning hooks, so that's the opposite now. Now it's a time, hey, there ain't going to be no more wars, okay? Nations are going to be farming, they're going to be building up our kingdom, okay? And we're going to reap all the benefits. And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore, okay? We're not going to be in the kingdom and there's going to be wars and this and that. Nah, none of that, man, okay? Now, people are going to be getting judged, all right? But ain't going to be no, this war and that war. No, that's how Esau rules, okay? We'll shut that shit down quick. No deception, nothing. Just pure truth and righteousness, judgment. Okay, that's how the kingdom will be. So yeah, man, this is the time that we're in, but it's a beautiful time that's coming after we, go through Jacob's trouble, go through this World War III, and we have faith and hope that we're gonna be protected in this time. We're always doing videos on exhortation, and just gotta keep praying, keep staying, on the right path and keep going. So hey, Lord, wouldn't this be an edifying lesson? With that, man, I'm gonna say shalom to the Lord's elect.